So the Commanders, are they done, y'all? No, they're not done. First of all, let's put everything into perspective. All right. Number one, Carson Wentz is a new quarterback in a new system with new weapons, new coach, in his perspective. All right. So we can't make judgments off of 4 weeks. There's going to be adjustments. There's going to be mishaps. They're going to be like, if you look at the Broncos, Russell Wilson, new quarterback with a new coach, new system, new weapons and everything. He's not looking too good either in the beginning. But nobody is. I mean, they were in the first game because it was really really bad. But nobody is truly writing them off for the whole season. All right. You look at Matt Ryan, new coach, new system, new weapons. Nobody's writing off Matt Ryan and the Colts. All right. But for some reason, with Carson Wentz, we already writing them off. And we're already writing the Washington football team off. I understand. I understand why. Because Washington football, I mean, actually, Washington football team. Washington Commanders, I mean, they got the, I think they haven't won a Super Bowl since the early 90s. I know they haven't had 11. I haven't witnessed as a football fan a 11 game winning season. All right. It hasn't happened in a long time. We haven't won a playoff game since Mark Brunell was our quarterback. So I understand. I understand why, you know, not only people who don't like the Commanders, but can actually Commander fans are jumping off the ship early. But you gotta realize that when I watch these games, for example, the Cowboys game, my initial reaction, I was like, this team is like irritating me, blah blah. But when you watch that game, we have fixable mistakes that we make. All right, fixable. If you watch that Cowboys game, we were actually moving the ball against the Cowboys, but then they kept putting themselves in holes with false start penalties, holding penalties, X, Y, Z, right? And you look at the defense been improving every single game. All right, not every single game. They actually went bottom in that Detroit game, but since that second half of that Detroit game, they've been improving. Look, like that Philly game is kind of overreaction. They actually stick a fork in it. That Philly game scored 24 points, but a lot of that was just, it was the big issue on defense is the big plays. That's a big difference, right? But in the second half, they did a great job. Also, Philly was the number one rushing team coming into that game. Washington Commanders did a great job against Philly in the rushing attack. Also did a great job against the Cowboys on the rushing attack. And the Cowboys won that game because of a few big plays, and we put them in good field position. So I look at that defense versus the Cowboys, a lot of 3-and-outs. All right. Two picks that were called back because of two bogus holding penalties that was never called for us, like that Terry McLaurin bomb on the right side by Wilson. Wilson pass interference. They didn't call that. All right. So and then even that Trayvon Diggs knocked down at the end of the game when he threw in the left side of the corner, that was passing. It was holding. You saw he held McLaurin when he was coming back to the corner end zone, but obviously they didn't call him. All right. So and look at these mistakes. They are fixable mistakes. Carson Wentz holding the ball for too long, getting intentional grounding. Fixable mistake. Just throwing the ball away early. So we haven't even established an identity on the offensive side. So I'm not going to panic. Y'all remember last year Carson Wentz and the Colts started off 1-3. Started off 1-3, and then they started off 2-4, 2-5, and then they went like on a 7-2, a 7-2 stretch in the middle of the season because new quarterback, new system. Once things get good, as far as like the system getting like getting used to the systems like that, things will get better. So I would say wait until week 6 to start, so we start judging what's really going on. All right, because week 6, that's when we roll up. Well, not week 6. I would say week 7. That's when we roll up into the Packers, and then after that Packers game, then we'll see. Okay, we'll watch the football team. Watch the Commanders are. It's a new name, y'all. I'm getting used to it myself. All right, so Washington is not done, and beware, because once they turn it over, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. You're gonna hear a lot from me though. All right, so I'm not gonna rap too much about y'all, but we're gonna go to our Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, And also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.